Alright, let's kick things off with a common trigger, trying to do multiple things at once. We've all experienced it, a moment where we're handling multiple activities simultaneously: work, education, additional professional endeavors, social engagements, familial obligations. The list is seemingly endless. It's akin to being the sole performer circus act, lacking the flamboyant attire. It's like having to juggle countless balls while tightrope walking and simultaneously trying to charm the crowd. It's a constant balancing act of priorities and commitments, which poses its own challenges. The problem arises when we find ourselves spread too thin, unable to give any single task the attention it deserves. It's like having numerous tabs open in our brain's browser, each clamoring for attention, vying for our limited cognitive capacity. The result of which is a constant mental hopscotch, a perpetual leap from one task to another, never truly being able to devote ourselves completely to any particular task. It's wonder then that we find ourselves worn out and frazzled. Because when we're constantly dividing our mental resources, unable to concentrate on any single task, we're setting ourselves up for exhaustion. It's like being in a continuous race without finish line in sight. The outcome is predictable. We're left feeling drained, depleted, and overwhelmed. And before you know it, you're feeling frazzled and exhausted. Next, we're going to dive into the concept of setting unrealistic goals. This is a common pitfall we've all fallen into at some point in our lives, dreaming big, aiming for the stars without taking into account the rungs of the ladder we need to traverse to get there. We often harbor dreams of achieving monumental success overnight, or of miraculously cramming a year's worth of goals into a mere month. Such expectations, while thrilling to imagine, can be incredibly damaging when the reality of the situation hits. The problem with setting the bar too high is that it can create an environment ripe for disappointment and burnout. When the goals we set for ourselves are too grandiose, we set ourselves up for failure. We feel the pressure, the weight of our unattainable aspirations, and it can lead to a sense of inadequacy and frustration. It's important to remember that success is not measured by the size of our dreams, but by the steps we take to achieve them. So here's a pro tip for those looking to set achievable goals. Break those ambitious, sky-high down into smaller, more manageable steps. Consider each step as an individual victory and take the time to celebrate these small wins. It's the accumulation of these small victories, these incremental steps, that will ultimately lead to the realization of your bigger ambitions. And remember, no matter how small, each step forward is still progress. It is these small steps that carve the path towards your ultimate success. The journey may seem long, but it's worth it. Remember that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Alright, let's switch gears and talk about dealing with, drumroll, jokers. You know the ones I'm talking about. Those individuals who seem to have taken up a permanent residency under your skin. Yes, the ones who seem to live for the moments where they can disrupt your otherwise peaceful day with their antics. They could be a colleague, known for their knack of throwing your meetings off track with their well-timed yet inappropriate jokes. Or maybe it's a friend, known for their uncanny ability to abandon plans at the last minute, leaving you to pick up the pieces. Dealing with these jokers can be a profound source of annoyance and frustration. Such behavior can leave one feeling disoriented, disheartened, and in some cases, even disrespected. Here's the silver lining in this cloud of chaos. You don't have to let the shenanigans of others ruin your day or dampen your spirits. Start by setting clear boundaries, explicit in their conveyance of your expectations. Communicate your needs effectively and assertively. If necessary, distance yourself from relationships that add toxicity and negativity to your life. Remember, your mental health isn't just important, it's paramount. Your mental health is worth it, trust me. Let's delve into the intricate topic of feeling like you haven't achieved anything meaningful in life. Ouch, that's a heavy one to digest, isn't it? This particular feeling can often be to the relentless comparison of our lives with others, especially on social media platforms, where highlights of others' lives are often showcased. Or it could be that you perceive yourself as lagging in terms of your professional advancement or personal aspirations. It's all too easy to be ensnared in a mental vortex of self-questioning and dissatisfaction, which can be disheartening and draining. But here's an essential reality to remember. Each person's journey is distinct, unique, and cannot be measured in the same yardstick. Life isn't a race, and it doesn't require you to constantly keep up with others. It is perfectly fine to progress at your own rhythm, navigating through life at a pace comfortable to you. Instead of obsessing over what you perceive to be your shortcomings or unfulfilled goals, try to shift your concentration onto your achievements. Recall those times when you've learned a new skill, conquered a tough obstacle, or accomplished a challenging task. Remember the small triumphs too, like managing to drag yourself out of bed on a tough day. Every small victory is significant and plays a crucial role in your life's narrative. Whether it's mastering a new skill, overcoming a daunting challenge, or simply managing to get out of bed in the morning, every little victory counts. All right, let's add another trigger to the list: neglecting self-care. When you're so engrossed in looking after everyone and everything else, your own needs often take a back seat. However, it's essential to realize that you can't nurture others from a depleted state. Hence, prioritizing self-care is non-negotiable. It doesn't have to be grand gestures. It could be as simple as enjoying a calming bath, taking a leisurely stroll, or declining additional commitments that might overextend you. Prioritizing self-care means setting boundaries and understanding your limitations. It means taking a step back when needed and not feeling guilty about it. It means knowing that you too, to rest and rejuvenate. This is an integral part of managing your mental and physical health. The act of self-care essentially translates into self-respect, self-worth, and ultimately self-love. By doing this, you honor your well-being and set the stage for balanced living. So make it a point to carve out time and space to recharge and rejuvenate yourself. Well, folks, there you have it, a crash course in understanding your burnout triggers. Whether it's trying to do too much at once, setting unrealistic goals, dealing with difficult people, or any of the other triggers we've covered today, remember that awareness is the first step towards prevention.